Clementines are delicious, and yeah. I'm going to actually read you chapter 2 of my novel that I've been writing this month. I read chapter 1 earlier in the month, so I believe it's time for chapter 2. So here we go. Beth holds up the phone to her ear. She doesn't look very happy when she's doing this. It's almost as if thousands of killer bees were attacking sweet old Winnie the Pooh because he was trying to steal their honey for his rumbly tummy. I swear to God, this bitch better answer, Beth says with her angry face on. You can feel the steam coming right out of her ears. Her normal calm composure turns into something that a mad scientist would have. She has that tone in her voice that she would jump straight through that phone and slap Diamond across the face. Is this Diamond? She shouts through the phone. I have no idea what's going on the other side of the line. I wonder if what Beth was saying to Diamond was actually working and scaring her away from Dustin. I mean, if it was me on the other side of the line, I would be scared shitless. When Beth gets this way, I'm normally already scared. And I'm not the one that she's angry with. So I can only imagine what's going on the other side. Well, maybe you should mind your own business and let Dustin talk for himself. Oh, and by the way, he happens to love Kennedy, and he said it himself. And he will never, ever love you in your troll-faced gypsy ways. Beth hung up the phone angrily and handed it to me. You won't have to worry about her. She won't be calling or messaging you again. But she was a complete filthy bitch, she says with a reassured smile on her face. I guess it worked. I mean, Beth's calm composure was back, as if nothing ever happened. It was like she turned into the Warner Brothers Tasmanian Devil. 1 minute, she was a whirlwind tornado of hate. And then the next minute, everything was perfectly fine. Everything was perfectly fine. That is, until I heard the laundry room door open. Bethany Fifth, what did you just say? I hope what I heard you say is not what you said, my mother said as she walked into the door wearing her bright blue scrubs, and my younger brother Aaron walking in right behind her with his headphones on and his guitar case in hand as he ran up the stairs as fast as he could to Skype our brother who was away at school. They have just returned from Aaron's weekly guitar lesson when she walked into this whirlwind of chaos. To understand the Johns family, you have to know that this family is a very conservative family. My mother was brought up extremely Catholic, and same with my father. They don't want anything to do with to take away from their perfect image of a family. For example, my mother has issues with people swearing, and then uses riddles and trickery in English to trick you into thinking you're just fine in what you're saying, when you really aren't. Beth is great at getting out of sticky situations and tries to explain what has just happened with my mother. And the first thing that came out of my mom's mouth was, who is this Dustin Kennedy? And why haven't we met him? When she says this, it really means, why haven't you mentioned this creature to anyone aside from Bethany? Are you ashamed of us? And us, of course, means her. I'm not sure, Mom. He just hasn't been important enough for me to bring up in conversation. I promise as soon as he becomes important, I'll bring him up. I paused for a moment for her to take in all this new news. So, Mom, there's this guy named Dustin. I go on and on telling her all about him. I told her about what he looks like, his interests, his personality, and how happy he makes me. Everything a mother wants to hear from her daughter about this guy that she's totally interested in. However, there was one topic that I did not want to bring up with her. I tried so hard to avoid mentioning that he wasn't a fact He didn't, in fact, live in the country of the red, white, and blue. Well, that is, the red, white, and blue that she's accustomed to. Then she just had to ask when she was going to meet him. And this was the hardest question to answer. Well, you see, Mother, he lives across the pond. What pond, Kennedy? The one at your school? I mean, that's not quite a pond, but a little puddle. My mother goes on and on and on about the pond at my school and how it really wasn't a pond. It got to the point where I just wanted to blurt out what I was talking about to make her just shut up. Well, actually, it came out just like word vomit. No, Mother, the pond, as in the Atlantic Ocean, I shouted at her. I can't believe I just did that. She is going to kill me. Nope, you need to cut this off right now. It's not healthy for you to be in such a fake relationship with someone you will never meet, nor will you ever really know. And how would you know that, Mother? I say with a snarling tone. I can't believe she was treating me like I'm a child. How can she tell me what to do? For goodness sakes, I am 19 years old. I am not a baby. I'm technically a legal adult. I angrily replied back at her. And Mother, I am in love with him. Kennedy, you are 19 years old. You do not know what love is. Yeah, whatever. The only love I knew came out of the books I've read. She just doesn't understand, nor will she ever understand me. I know it sounds like a melodramatic teenage pity party for me, but I just wanted her to understand my point of view. As my mother keeps wailing about how disappointed she was in me or how I will never live up to her expectations or standards, I grabbed the keys to my Ford Fiesta sitting in the driveway, grabbed Beth's hand, and we walked out of that house. As we walked to the car, Beth exclaims, "What the hell, Kennedy? You're really going to leave your mother like that?" Yeah, I am. She's freaking pissing me off. And this was the last straw. She can't keep telling me what to do. I'm growing up whether she likes it or not. Are you getting it or not? Beth gets into the car as I start the ignition and zoom as fast as I could down the driveway and drove away. Driving always seems to calm me down after I have an argument with my mother. She just didn't understand what exactly was going on in my brain. As we pulled up to the red light, I flipped my turn signal on to turn to the nearest convenience store. "Do you want anything?" I asked Beth as I got out of the car, grabbing my Vera Bradley wallet. "No, but thanks," she replied. "Okay, then stay here," I told Beth. "I will be right back." I walked in with a stomp in my step and straight to the counter. "Hi, how are you?" the old woman clerk said to me. "Fine. Can I have a pack of Camel Crush, please?" I asked as I fiddled around with my wallet, getting out my license and the cash out of their compartments. ID. I go to grab my ID not only to prove to the world that I was in fact old enough to purchase a pack of cigarettes, but to prove to this old lady that always hassles me that I am in fact myself. "This doesn't look like you." "Look, lady," I snarled and tapping my foot ferociously on the ground. "I am who it says I am on the card. Give me my cigarettes or I'll take my business elsewhere, where they do not ask me stupid questions like if this ID is real or fake." She eventually handed me the pack of cigarettes with a look of why the heck is this teenager giving me this kind of look. As I threw the cash on the ground, on the counter, I walked away. I started packing my cigarettes as hard as I could, just to get some more anger out. As I walked up to the car, I popped one of the cigarettes in my mouth and began to light it and chain smoke. "Is everything all right?" Beth asked, with a concerned look on her face. "Well, I guess it will be once this pack of Camels are gone." Beth knows when I start to smoke, there's no stopping me until they're all gone. This generally is what happens whenever my mother and I get in a fight, aside from me driving away. Cigarettes had the power to calm me down. It may have been the nicotine that calms me down, but I think it's just a calming ritual that can take a person from a stage 5 anger down to stage 1. Plus, I felt that smoking made me look more mature and pretty sweet. It was a crazy idea, I know, but honestly, who cares? I dropped Beth off at our house, and I drove around for a bit longer. As I was driving around the little town that I lived in, my pants started vibrating. God, I really hope this isn't my mother, I thought to myself. But when I pulled out my phone and saw who it was, guess what? It was her. So I hit the ignore button and turned up the radio. It was a great night of radio. All my favorite jams were playing, and I sang and screamed out the lyrics, so even the person in the car next to me could hear me. The sound of the bass drowned out the calls from my mother as she continued calling me time and time again. Eventually, after a 5-minute break, it started to ring again. I grabbed my phone. This was the last straw. I was just so sick of her calling me when I just did not want to talk to her. Please stop calling me, Mom. I don't want to talk. Hi, love. It's Dustin. Why aren't you talking to your mom? Oh, hi. No reason. I just thought you were with Diamond. She told me I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore and that you were hers. Oh, that Diamond, she's a lovely girl, but just a tad clingy to me. I mean, you used to date that bitch. She seriously, bitched me out and then hung up on me. How could you ever be with someone like that, Dustin? I'm sorry. It's just been one hell of a night, and I just need something to go right for once in my life. Love, but it already has. And you don't have to worry about Diamond anymore, because honestly, the only person in the world who I want and need and would consider dating is, well, a whole ocean away from me. As he said that, my cheeks began to blush. Thanks, Dustin. You always know how to cheer me up. I, uh, uh, Justin quickly changes the subject. So, Kennedy, what are you doing? Driving around blowing out steam. Literally, blowing out steam. Dustin knew whenever I drive around and something monumental and upsetting has happened, he always knew that it wouldn't be a smart idea to have me talk about it. Instead, he was there to listen to whatever came out of my mouth and listen to the sound of me smoking my pack of cigarettes. I told him about everything that was going on here, and he was telling me what was going on over there. I guess, well, that's the beautiful thing about long-distance relationships. You will always have something to talk about. We talked for hours and hours. Well, more like an hour. By the end of our conversation, he was exhausted. Granted, it was like 5 in the morning his time and only midnight mine. Kennedy, I'm going to have to go. It's nearly 5 a.m. here, he says as he yawns into the phone. I know. Well, have a good night, I said with a little bit of sadness in my voice. What's wrong? Nothing, Dustin. Have pleasant dreams. Look, Kennedy, you do not have anything to worry about. I'm here, and I'm yours, no one else's, no matter what. Dustin and I remained silent on the phone for what seemed like forever. Kennedy, before I go, there's something I want to tell you. Or, well, ask you. What is it? Will you... never mind. Can we talk more tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Whatever you want, Dustin. Alright, Kennedy? Yeah, Dustin? Have sweet dreams, and don't let the bedbugs bite. Click. Before I knew it, he was gone and off to the land of dreams. I have never met such an amazing guy before. He gives me butterflies even after talking to him. This was the best night of my life, and I barely remember getting in a fight with my mother. I finished the last cigarette in the pack and decided I was tired of driving around and started to head home. I just hope my mom isn't still awake. I'm not quite ready to face her yet. I mean, she's pretty intimidating when she's angry with me, and I just don't want to deal with that tonight. And that's chapter 2. Have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.